네, 안녕하십니까. 이번 세션 대담과 Q&A 진행을 맡은 연합뉴스의 김태균 기자입니다. 앞서 이관민 교수님이 진행해 주신 것처럼 제가 한 3가지 정도 이번 프레젠테이션 관련돼서 궁금한 걸 여쭤보고요. 그 다음에 이제 플로우에서 질문을 받도록 하겠습니다. Thank you for presentation, and it was really awesome, full of the practical advices, and I was really amazed. Yeah, to hear that.
Thank you.
So, regarding your partnership with OpenAI, and I just wonder, you said that internally you and your colleagues are doing a lot of experiment with ChatGPT technology. So, could you elaborate on these experiment project? What major projects are going on, and what would be the major, most promising candidate for application of ChatGPT technology at AP?
I've got limits to what I can talk about on that particular thing of what is in R&D at the moment.
Yeah.
I will say that in general, one of the very large interest items that we do have is around summarization.
Yeah.
And the reason is that a lot of AP, for people who are familiar with AP content, we have, again, reporters all around the world. They write very long dispatches.
Yeah.
But in certain use cases, especially for broadcasters, we need to use a shorter version of the story. We can't run a whole wire story on television or radio. And so one of the potential things that we would want to look at is looking at summarization of content that was written initially for the print or digital wire into a potential radio broadcast or TV broadcast script. That'd be one example. Another example would be along using it for improvements in existing customer services. So AP, of course, having a client base all around the world, everybody speaks a different language, of course.
Oh, okay.
And so trying to figure out, can we make potentially a chat for customer service more effective? These are questions we're trying to figure out if perhaps generative AI can help in that particular context. So there are quite a few R&D projects underway right now as part of the wider OpenAI agreement.
Okay, thank you for sharing the information with us. Another question I would like to ask is about the accuracy of AI model when it comes to transcription. So you said that OpenAI's Whisper is working very well and excellent, but it can be wrong sometimes. It can make mistakes. So what if this transcription model make a mistake? Is there any should we put some human in the loop so that they can verify accuracy of the transcribed contents, or we just let it go and just hang in there?
That's a very good question on how to operate with a transcript that is either incorrect. It depends really on your use case, right? So if your purpose of your transcript is to immediately generate content that's publicly accessible for your audience, then you have a higher standard to make sure that it's as accurate as you can. If there are still many layers before it becomes a public item, then that's then balanced out by your need to save time. You don't, even in, for example, the Michigan radio context, that one is a tool to support reporters. That doesn't ever go straight to the public.
Okay.
So that particular one, if a reporter saw a quote in the system that they really, really liked, someone is saying, I I will build a new mall in this city. And that's probably newsworthy if you're covering local news. I will build a new mall. And they go through to the transcript and they view it, and the person says, I am going to build a new wall. I'm just giving an example, right?
Yeah,
so then
right.
they would catch that. Yeah. They would catch that scenario. So as a reporter, a tool that helps reporters. So again, it all comes back to, it depends on your use case, whether you want a human in the loop or not.
One of the major mistake transcription model here make is getting people's name wrong because Korean names are only 3 syllables with very similar sound. So to models is phonetically could be very confusing. So we'll really have trouble with these mistakes. And like you said, probably we can just train our model or design our systems based on our own need for accuracy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll get to the audience and take a question from floor. 예, 현장 질의 질문 받겠습니다. 궁금하신 질문 있으신 분 손을 들어 주십시오.
네, 그 전사 부분에서 지금 말씀을 해주셨는데 실제적으로 챗 GPT를 활용한 아까 말씀하신 그런 시스템을 활용한 것은 자연어로 질문을 했을 때 나올 수 있는 그 반응은 거의 정해져 있다고 생각하거든요. 그리고 또 중요한 것은 시스템에 따라 다르겠지만 실질적으로 단어 수가 제한돼서 중간에 끊어지고 또 추가 질문을 한다든지 이런 일도 많이 벌어지는데 중요한 것은 우리 기자들이 그거 가지고 어떻게 활용하냐가 상당히 중요한 부분이거든요. 거기에 대한 기준 또는 루틴이 있는지 그런 부분이 있다면 무조건 단어를 집어넣는다고 해서 거기서 기사가 전사된 것을 우리가 활용할 것보다는 아까 우리 김 부장님 말씀하신 것처럼 오류 많이 날 수 있거든요. 어차피 사람이 손을 내야 되는 건 당연한 사실이고 데스크를 봐야 되는데 일의 효율성이나 생산성으로 봤을 때 보도의 횟수가 중요한 게 아니라 그 사회에 기여하는 그런 점이 중요한 거니까 그 부분에 대해서 어떻게 기사 준칙을 생성형 AI에게 적용할 수 있을지 그런 부분을 한번 설명을 해주셨으면 좋겠어요.
Okay. So thank you for your question. It is, there are, of course, limits to the size that ChatGPT will accept from the public interface. I am not sure if you have access to the programmatic version, where it's the API version. Do you have it? Thumbs up, thumbs up. You do? Okay, you do have that. And so what we've done for our projects is to split up the content of the text. We use the tokenizer. OpenAI offers their tokenizer. It's called TikToken, but it's not, has nothing to do with TikTok. It's called TikTok. And so we calculate how many tokens they'll take and then split up our text into that. And so we found pretty good success. That's the one that we use that process for the KSAT project. That's a good workaround. That'd be my suggestion, to break up your text and just reprocess. In theory, you can say you have an extraordinarily long one that takes reprocessing over, let's say, 20 times. You could rerun it on just a summary, assuming each of your 20 times is a summary. You could rerun the process on just the collected summaries and re-summarize all that as a potential option. So that, but that's a general workaround, is just break up your text when you have limits. So.
네.
영어로 하겠습니다. Thank you for your lecture. You introduced a lot of great tools that can be well used in Korean newsrooms as well. But the reality is that it's very expensive to develop those tools. And especially for Korean newsrooms where the Korean language is not widely used global-wise. So my question is, how can Korean journalism industry well develop those tools that are used internationally? Can newsrooms in other companies work together to make a tool that can be used together, or should there be like a government support when developing these tools? Like as a person, as an expert who works in the industry, what could be the vision for tools that Korean newsrooms can use? Thank you.
My particular scenario, this is something that we've heard time and time again as we talk about AI in news. We cannot escape the fact that it is expensive. In general, to do it right, you want a data scientist on your team among many other roles. A data scientist is not cheap. They can easily go to a big tech company and make far more than any news organization can pay. So we face incredible challenges just resourcing for AI. How do we solve that? In English, I often tell this joke that if only there were an association of press organizations that would come together, but I'm pretty much saying AP should do it. My personal opinion is that in any country, in Korea, perhaps it is a collective effort would be my best recommendation, because you can pool your money, you can pool your funds. No single news organization has the amount of money needed to develop AI tools specifically for Korea. I highly doubt that, and so it seems worthy that you pool your money to then be able to develop these tools. That would be my strongest recommendation. If you can get it to work, it would be a model that can be replicated around the world. It is critical to have shared tools. There are commonalities in AI. One very large thing that we found, it actually was on my own academic research for my master's back in New Zealand, I tested it out, was whether journalists, news organizations are willing to share technology of their competitors. When you talk about historically, news organizations don't like to share. But when it comes to AI, when talk about resources like this, in at least New Zealand, journalism organizations were willing to share the development. I'm hoping you will find the same results in Korea, that people understand that this isn't just about helping myself, it's about helping the whole industry with tools that help the whole industry. There's nothing proprietary about me building the best Korean transcription system in the world, right? Just me having it for myself is not very useful, because it's not like another news organization doesn't have the humans to just be able to get it. They'll get it eventually, it'll just be slightly slower, but it's something that can be shared.
Yeah, it's a very interesting suggestion, like new model for cooperative for developing AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. 예, 질문 좀 받겠습니다. Because of time constraint, we're going to take two more questions.
안녕하세요. 저는 어린이 조선일보의 조한주 기자라고 합니다. 그 한국 인터넷에서 방송에서 다루면 그 밈의 유통기한은 끝난다는 그런 말이 한때 돈 적이 있는데, 제 주요 독자는 초등학교 한 2학년, 3학년 정도로 이제 상정을 해서 기사에 쓰고 있거든요. 근데 아까 그 국가별로 사용 언어가 달라서 그 관련한 시스템을 이렇게 주의 깊게 본다고 하셨었는데, 혹시 연령별로도 이렇게 하고 있는 게 있는지, 왜냐면 그런 어린 친구들 만나면 아예 같은 한국어를 쓰지만 서로 못 알아듣는 단어들이 많아서 그리고 특히 소셜미디어 관련해가지고 그 소셜미디어 특화 AI 활용 시스템을 보고 있는 게 있는지, 그리고 아까 43개의 후보가 있었다고 했는데 그 중에서 아동 청소년이나 소셜미디어 특화에서 뭐 나온 것들이 있는지 좀 궁금합니다.
Okay, I am not familiar with any particular generative AI system that can handle those, but the two examples you gave of for something that targets a specific age group or writing for social media are in fact things that are worth exploring using generative AI. For example, you have your main story, a news article meant for your general adult audiences. You could have generative AI rewrite that story in language understandable by a fifth grader. That is worthy of testing out. Another thing is you could ask generative AI to give you headlines that are appropriate for social media. There are techniques now. The immediate one I could think of is what they call, I apologize to our translator, it's called few-shot translation, F-E-W-S-H-O-T, few-shot translation, a few-shot prompting rather, few-shot prompting. And so, which is you give the AI, let's say 3 examples of an article and the social media headline. That type of that result may be worthy of exploring. That it could be able to summarize individual stories for social media.
예, 마지막 질문 받겠습니다. 예. 저기. 예, 저 마이크를 저쪽으로. 예. 마지막 질문은 짧게 좀 부탁드리겠습니다. 죄송합니다.
네, 저는 경향신문의 김재준 기자라고 합니다. 저는 기자 입장에서 좀 몇 가지 질문 드리고 싶은데요. 아까 그 AP의 그 사회부 그 말씀하셨는데 현재는 생성형 AI를 기사 작성에 활용하지 못하도록 금지시킨 상태라고 말씀드렸는데 그러면 실제 데스크 입장에서 그 기사가 생성형 AI를 활용했는지 여부를 어떻게 검증하는 방식이 어떤 프로토콜이 있는지 그게 좀 궁금하고요. 두 번째는 생성형 AI를 기사 작성에서 현재 사용하지 못하게 한 이유는 이제 짐작이 가는데요. 그렇다면 향후 그럴 가능성이 언제쯤, 그러니까 이를테면 적극적으로 생성형 AI를 기사 작성에서 활용하는 전면 도입하는 시기가 아직 멀었다고 보시는지 아니면 그게 가까웠다고 보시는지 궁금합니다.
All right. I will keep the answer as briefly as possible, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I see. Thank you. For the protocol to verify if, let's say, an AP journalist has in fact not used generative AI, AP has very good journalists. From a management perspective, we've been told, managers trust AP journalists to follow the rules. Just as we trust AP journalists to not plagiarize their content. So we're using the same, at the moment, they plan to use the same model. That from the public, if they report that an AP reporter appears to have used plagiarized content, it starts an investigative process. If the public reports that they think an AP reporter used an AI to write a story, that would, in theory, start the same process. This has never been done before, but this is a theoretical thing that AP has talked about. That would be how we proceed. So it is about enforcement, a trust in our reporters. We trust our reporters. To your second question, time frame for when generative AI comes along. I am not so sure that will happen anytime soon for AP, simply because we rely on our human reporters to be on-the-ground witnesses. This goes back to Dr. Beckett's, that we rely on our reporters to be on-the-ground witnesses, to conduct interviews for their stories in person. There is no AI that can substitute that. Perhaps in the future, if we get really comfortable, maybe there's an AI that can write a preliminary draft of a story from a reporter, for just that reporter in their own words. Maybe, but I don't see that happening. I see generative AI more useful in converting content from one format to another.
Okay, thank you for sharing your genuine human insight with us. Thank you. 감사합니다.